How's it going, everyone? My name is Trev Barnes, and this is definitely not the second time that I'm recording this video. Why would you ask such a thing? Don't worry about it. I didn't get bored and then go make lunch while filming the last one and then forgot where I left off and had to restart. Well, I had lunch now, so that won't happen again. But today, we are going to be making another indie pop song. I want to thank you guys so much for giving the last one that I made so much love. I think it's my second video to break 10K, and I got 100 new subscribers from it so far, so that is amazing. There's a song that I wrote a while back that I used to play during my acoustic shows that I want to put some production behind. So today we are going to do that. But before we begin, did you know that about 98% of people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed? That number is bonkers. If you're not subscribed and watching, what are you doing? Definitely watch the video first though. You might not like it, you might not want to subscribe, but hey, it'd be cool if you did. So I got Logic open here. Today the song is called Dance With Ya. It's already written. Like I said, it just needs production work. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start off with the retro synth. There's already a couple things that I know that I want to do with it. Like I want to put my semitones up to a seventh. So here's what it sounds like now. And here's what it sounds like when we add a seventh. I love that sound. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of chorus on it. Gonna cut this back a little so it's softer. We're gonna adjust the attack on both, and we're gonna extend this. Also, today's video sponsored by water. You're dehydrated, go drink. So this song is very dancey. I think it's at around 100 BPM, maybe 105. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, 97 sounds good. So pretty much the whole chord progression in the song is this. Let's go ahead and track that. So let's go ahead and quantize that. So now I'm going to look for a synth to kind of layer under that. I just downloaded a lot more packs from Labs by Spitfire Audio, which is honestly pretty much my go-to for anything now. They just came out with this new pack, Electronic Antique. I haven't played with it yet, so let's see what some of the things sound like in there. This one could be good. And we're going to add a spreader onto that. The spreader has been something that I've been absolutely using on everything lately, especially my synths. So if you're not wearing headphones, I recommend wearing them or listening to this on studio monitors just to really hear the difference, because it does quite literally what it says it does. It spreads it out, but like a very stereo chorus. So this is what it sounds like without it. And this is with it. Let's go ahead and mix the two. I don't know if I'm crazy about this sound. I'm not the craziest about that sound, so I'm actually going to look in Anna 2. So this is by Sonic Academy, who I believe is partnered with Slate Digital. But if you get the all access pass through Slate Digital, which in my opinion, 100% worth it. Oh my God, that is so loud. So we're actually going to add sevenths onto this. Actually, I'm going to take this down a whole step. Does it sound good layered with all three? Of course, as we go, we are going to stay neat and organized and label and color everything. So we are going to go back into Anna. Whenever I'd play the song, I would hear in my head this little bum ba bum 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 thing that went along with it. So we're looking for something that has a lot of vibrato, something that's kind of softer. Very similar to that organ sound on As It Was by Harry Styles. I really like that. Yeah, let's go with that. And let's double it. So I think there's too much of a tail on that. Maybe the reverb should come down a little bit. Maybe the release as well. Let's put the reverb back on. And actually, let's take some of the attack off as well. Am I the only one who, when you get into like a big synth plugin, you just do random things until it sounds good? I got the rest of my life to learn what all these buttons and knobs mean. Don't ever overthink anything. Just get in there, play with shit, and if it sounds good, it sounds good. And if it doesn't, figure out how to make it sound good. And of course, we're going to assign our track color and name it. All right, so now we're going to get into our verse. Let's add some drums. I'm going to use this kit I put together called Snappy Indie Drums. Now I made this kit around EZdrummer's Tight Room pack, which if you get EZdrummer 3, that's already included. I didn't really do too much to the kit other than just make some volume adjustments. But if I just play the kit on my keyboard here, this is what it sounds like. Something as well for the mixing, I use Virtual Mix Rack for nearly everything that I do. Personally, I like having less options when it comes to EQ and dynamics. I see a lot of producers on YouTube who just are constantly all over the EQ like that, and that's fine. Everybody has their own producing style. Personally, I like having more of an analog feel to it, which ultimately gives you less choices. I mean, I have 4 different EQ bands that I can choose from right now. Again, there's nothing wrong with having an EQ like this where you can literally choose any band, any frequency, do whatever you want with it. Let's go ahead and lay some drums over this. We're going to do this little break part before the chorus. All right, now let's record the chorus. So now I'm going to add a bass to it. I kind of already have an idea of the bass tone that I want, so I'm using the Synth E-Bass from Logic. I'm going to be running that through an Ampeg amp sim, which this can be found in 2 places that I know of through Plugin Alliance, and it's the same one that you get with the Universal Audio bundle as well. So Logic's Synth E-Bass obviously doesn't really sound like a real bass, but that's not really what I'm going for. This specific sound is actually what I'm going for. So if it sounds like shit, it's part of the plan. So for the verses, I want it to be like a very, very disco-y. So a lot of octaves. That's the key to disco, is octaves. Also Heart of Glass by Blondie. So let's go ahead and copy that over. So something that I like to do is mix along the way, just so nothing ever really gets lost. So we'll start with drums. I usually start with drums, and I don't ever really like it to pass 10 dB. I don't know if this is like professional advice or not, but when I'm mixing, I try to keep everything pretty much as low as I can keep it so I can have a high overhead. That way nothing's really like competing with each other. You have plenty of room. So if I can keep that fader kind of in the middle of everything, I have enough room to play around with it. Let's bring in the other one. And it doesn't need to be perfect at the moment. This is just for reference. It'll probably sound different when it's the final product because I don't mix with headphones. It's very disorienting and I don't actually know what it sounds like. So the chorus bass line is actually going to be very different. Instead of that dynamic, it's going to be just a straight. So I don't do this with everything, but a pro tip, if you want to extend these notes really quickly, instead of just going on each one and dragging them, you can actually highlight all the ones that you want to change. Go to Functions, MIDI Transform, Fixed Note Length. From there, you can just do it like that. Did you guys know that? I'm sure you did, but now you know again. So obviously, it sounds very naked right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spice up the chorus. But we're gonna add a tambourine and a shaker, and we're gonna pan them left and right. This may or may not make sense, but I like to keep the tambourine to the right side because the hi-hat is on the left side. And to me, those frequencies sound really similar. So I like them to be kind of on both sides. To me, a shaker is a little lower, so I like to put that on the hi-hat side. I don't know if any of this makes sense. I'm not a teacher. Drums are orange. I don't know how to make that make sense. It's kind of like the math is blue thing, like when talking about folders in school. Drums are orange. So I'm going to adjust the pitch of the tambourine a little bit. Add some ambience and reverb. Same with the shaker. What's it missing? It is missing a synth. So we're gonna go ahead and open up our retro synth again on a new track, put some chorus on it, put some vibrato on it, and you know we're gonna put that 7th on it. And of course, we're gonna put a spreader on it. I'm actually going to double this for the chorus, this little melody synth, and we're going to use the retro synth for that as well. I use the retro synth for everything. A lot of vibrato on it. So this is what our chorus sounds like. Hydrate. You know, it'd be cool if we took this. Oh God, he's using the channel EQ. He just said he hates it. Let's put a bunch of reverb on that actually as well. What would it sound like if we lowered it though? Yeah, that's kind of cool. And let's actually put that in the choruses as well, just to have another layer. Does that sound like it's too much? I don't think it does. So I'm actually going to add another bass on the chorus just to kind of fatten it up a little bit. We're going to spread that. You know what I think it needs as well? We're going to take this main synth part here. Did I make that with the retro synth? I didn't. Let's bring the retro synth in again. We're just going to layer that. Put some reverb behind it. I know it's a cardinal sin to put reverb directly on a channel, but I don't really use that many channels. If I'm doing a big project that has like 50 and up channels, yeah, I'll bus it, but since we're only doing a couple, I'm not really gonna bus it. Don't let other producers tell you what you can and can't do. Use that CPU. Crash your computer. All right, so let's mix this real quick. We're actually gonna take a good bit of low end out of the lowered melody synth. It was just a little too muddied. All right, now I'm just gonna do this little outro from the chorus, and that'll just be a kick again. Actually, what we're going to do is quick export that, and we're going to put a high cut on that as well. So the second verse in the vocals has a couple of different breaks, so it'll sound like this. So now we are getting to the solo of the song. I want to do this kind of cool flange drum thing. So let's do the kick. So now let's look for a good flanger. And we're actually going to make this different in the drums because we're going to layer a ride over it. It's very subtle, but it makes a big difference. And I'm going to copy the chorus over again. And I think I'm going to do like an entire high cut thing. And this is a very bold move because I could make a change and everything that I'm doing now could totally be worthless. But we're going to bounce it all in place. All right, so let's go ahead and cut it back. Ooh, you know what'd be cool? If we automated the frequency. So we do it here, and then we do it real quick here. Cool, I like it. So I think most of the song is done. Now I'm just going to add guitars. I think today we are going to use my Gibson Firebird. This is the 70s tribute. If you were lucky enough to get a 70s tribute, because they're super hard to come by, maybe, last I checked. If you're lucky to get any of the 70s tributes, I think they did a Les Paul, an SG, and a Firebird. These are amazing guitars, and when they came out, they actually weren't expensive. Just the two of us. You probably weren't wondering, but I like to keep my guitars in half step down. It's just a personal preference. So I'm not really going to worry about amp tone setting just yet until I really mix. So for amp, let's use the Boutique British amp. Let's go ahead and turn the bass, the treble down, the mid up a little, reverb up, bring presence down, and that sounds like... This squash compressor in the Logic pedal board is actually super underrated. I've mixed drums with it before. If you want to just get like a super tight sound and maybe simplified controls, just throw it on something. Try it out once in a while. Let's put a slapback delay on that as well. So I'm going to put on one of my favorite plugins. I think it's pronounced as Haas. If you watched other of my videos, you know that I will never be able to pronounce this. But basically, it's a stereo enhancer. I think what it does is just copies what is coming through it and just delays it slightly, splits the two, hard left and right. But this is what it sounds like without it. And this is what it sounds like with it. So I'm actually going to duplicate that, turn the reverb, treble, and gain up a little bit. And I'm going to layer the bum ba bum bum bum. Maybe use a different reverb. Let's go ahead and put an octave over that as well. And of course, I'm going to pan them left and right. Cool, cool. Don't let anyone ever tell you that there's something wrong with copy and pasting. Do whatever your heart feels like doing. All right, so now I'm going to add kind of like a distortion, just a hard pan left and right for the chorus. I'm gonna add the vintage drive because it sounds good. All right, let's just see what we come up with. And we're gonna go ahead and double that on the other side. Does anyone else get like super disoriented when they're tracking guitar? Just me? Oh, okay. All right, so now let's go ahead and bring those in. So now I'm going to do the solo. I want this like just really fuzzed out. So let's just play around with the solo part. I should probably play my solos out, but I never do. Let's just see what happens. Pro tip, if it sounds like shit, just put delay on it. All right, so now I am setting up a microphone for an acoustic guitar. Wow. Hydrate. So I'm using my Martin GPX 1AE. It's kind of like a triple O, but a wider body. So one thing that I don't like doing is copy and pasting acoustic guitar. I usually like just playing that all the way through. So the last thing I need to do is vocals.
I can show you a few things. There's fire in my heart like it's butane, it's insane. We can stay right here, we can shoot through space. We can go out for a while, popping like we're Taylor, we're so swift that we're never going out of style. Yeah.
All right, so the track is done for now. Is this a final take? No, absolutely not. I think the vocals could be a little better, but I'm not filming this video any longer. So it ended up being around 37 tracks. As you can see, there's really not a lot of plugins. I'm typically not someone who has like 30 plugins on each track. There's a couple sends to just some reverbs, but overall it's pretty basic at the moment. Some people have asked me about my vocal chain setup, so I'll go ahead and show you. So again, everything is Slate's virtual mix rack, which I cannot emphasize enough is absolutely amazing. I love it. So first we have this virtual channel, which is just giving it some grit and push. Then we're running through the FG Dynamics, which emulates an SSL console compressor and noise gate or expander. And as you can see, that's being pushed fairly hard. Then I have it just running through a simple EQ, then to a distressor, and lastly through this de-esser, which they just recently added, and it's honestly been pretty nice. My quick mastering chain, first I'm running through a Teak A6100, which is made by IK Multimedia. And as you can see on the input, that's cranked pretty well. It's just to give everything that analog saturation. And then I'm just running Ozone's Master Assistant. So let's go ahead and hear what this track sounds like.
I can show you a few things. There's fire in my heart like it's butane, it's insane. We can stay right here or we can shoot through space. We can go out for a while, bobbing like we're Taylor, we're so swift that we're never going out of style. Yeah. Baby, we can go wherever we want. Just stay right here between my arms. And I just wanna have a good time, and that's fine with you. And I just wanna make it with you. Baby, we can go wherever we want. Just stay right I can show you the world if you wanna see it. We could be bad like we're Michael and we'll beat it. We could get away for the night, lay low for a while. Yeah, like Drake and Josh, we could find a way. Yeah, that cloud that we're on is so high and beyond. We're chilled out like Freon. I'm so rich like Elon. I'm cooking like Teflon. I'm down to earth like Efron. Been driving all night long and nothing can go wrong. We can go wherever we want. Just stay right here between my arms. And I just wanna have a good time, if that's fine with you. And I just wanna make it with you. Baby, we can go wherever we want. Just stay right here between my arms. And I just wanna dance with you. And I just wanna make it with you. Baby, we can go wherever we want. Just stay right here between my arms. And I just wanna dance with you.
So after listening to that, obviously I think there's a lot of things that need to change and that I can make a little better. I think the vocal mixing can be a little tightened up, as well as I think there can be some more things here in the outro and the vocals as well. After listening back to it as well, I think some of the rhythm guitars are slightly out of tune, and I mean just like slightly out of tune. I also think maybe a bigger hit can be added at the ending. So these are all things that I'm gonna make and hopefully get this song out at some point. But overall, I don't think it came out terribly. I do enjoy the song. I have a lot of good ideas for it. So if there's any ideas that you have for this song, let me know. I'm always open to criticism and feedback in ways that I can be better as a producer and as an artist, which I fully believe that if you're a growing and learning producer, be open to what other people have to say. Thank you guys very much again for checking out this video. Thanks for stopping by. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit subscribe. It does genuinely help me out in the growth of my channel. And if there's anything that you want to see me do or produce, definitely let me know. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much again for watching. Peace.